Good morning. Good morning. It's early, isn't it? I want to try to come take a ride with me while I drive to work. I just dropped Jessica off. For those who are not familiar with who I am, my name is Linda On. Welcome to my channel. I discuss getting sober, working in recovery, and living, personal development, going to school, working, taking care of your kids. So I discuss a wide range of different things. So yeah, I'm slow, y'all. I'm tired. It's crazy. I was asleep yesterday by 7:30. Like I was knocked out. It was like I woke up and my alarm started going off. It like usually goes off at like 5. Like I set it to start going off at 5 so it can start waking me up because I really don't get up until 6. Because like for us everything is so close. Like my daughter's school is 5 minutes away. After I drop her off, where I'm going is 15 minutes away from that. Like nowhere, I don't even have to get on the freeway at all, depending on where I'm going. Good morning to whoever just clicked in. So um, I went to sleep at 7, and then I really did not wake up fully until 6. I tend to do that quite often since I've gotten sober. It started when I got sober, but it's I'm in recovery now, so it's kind of continuing. I need to go somewhere and clean my window. I don't know what my husband called himself doing to clean the window, but I literally cannot see driving in the sun, and it's so dangerous. And every time I say I'm gonna go get it, I forget. Needless to say, so I was slow as molasses this morning. Um, just kind of driving, basically. At this point, I had to have a huge talk with my daughter about some things because Jessica has problems, impulse problems, and she doesn't understand um, boundaries. So social cues, she doesn't understand boundaries, and she has a problem with impulses. We are dealing with that. She has been diagnosed with ADD or whatever, ADHD, whatever. So it's like it's constantly like every day I have to talk to her about certain things. And lo and behold, if like yesterday I went to sleep early, and so I had to rely, well, my husband and my oldest daughter was the ones that was kind of like making sure everything was done. And so when I woke her up this morning, I asked her, I said, well, what did you do yesterday? She's like, well, I ate dinner and I played around and I watched TV. Now she don't get homework until next week. So that's fine. Um, and so I said, well, did you take a shower? She's like, no. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is going to be a long morning. So of course I had to go upstairs to take a shower and go through that process with her and have that talk with her. But like I have to, people are like, oh, well, she's 8. And I'm like, come on, stop. At 8 years old, they still need reminders. They still need suggestions. They still need cues. Even if she didn't have the problem she had, because she's a very intelligent young lady. Okay, she reads. Her reading is at a 6th grade level. Her math skills are at a 5th grade level. She can draw. She loves art. She has no problems in school, so it's definitely like that. Um, but like with any other kid, they need cues. They need reminders. Kids are kids, right? So, I was about to say. So I was just like, I was really tired though, and I guess I have to accept that that's how that's gonna be because when I addressed the situation, everybody was tired, and well, she didn't say anything, or well, I thought she took it. It's just like okay, I wasn't really feeling that well yesterday though. I had a migraine, and so by the time I took some medicine, I usually take like Tylenol and ibuprofen together, and I ate something and I was pretty much done. And so I had a talk with her today about that. And I said, when you come home from school, um, I want you to just take a shower. Because a lot of times, once we get in the house, especially me, once I'm in the house, I'm in the house. Like, I try to do everything I need to do, all the extra running around, ripping and running. If I'm going to an AA meet, whatever, it got to be an early meeting because I know me, and I've always been that way. Once I come in the house, unless it's something that's really been planned before, which I try not to plan things like that, I'm in the house. So, I talked to her about that, and I know I'm still gonna have to. So I'm just gonna have to step my game up and say, well, come on, let's take a shower instead of making her wait. Like, the plan was for her to take her shower every evening at 7:30. But if I fall asleep, and my migraine is taking over, which it always does. Anytime I get a migraine and I just sleep it away. Good morning, man. Good morning. So I guess I'm gonna just have to change some things up because people are putting too many expectations on the 8-year-old. And their attitudes, oh, well, they can remember to get on the phone, and no, they can remember to do this. And I'm like, kids always remember what they like. Come on now. They remember what they like to do. But I'm just not going to put that expectation on her. It's my job to remind her to do certain things. It's my job to make sure that they're done. Let's say that. Not that she needs reminders for the most part, but just to make sure that they're done. And I see now that, I can't expect my daughter to do it. She's helped out as much as she could, and now she's in a situation where she doesn't have to help me anymore because I'm in recovery, and she can pretty much just do the things that she needs to do for herself. Especially since I don't work the same schedule that I used to. Because I used to work second and third shift for years, pretty much all of my life. I never really worked day shift as a set thing. So I dealt with that. I just felt like I was moving so slow, and I honestly, like, I always feel this way after I sleep like that because of my migraines. I feel like more tired than I would if I slept for like 3 hours and then got up. It's crazy. They say, when you sleep too long, it makes you feel more tired. So, like, I got up and was able to still get everything done that should have been done the night before. But, sorry about that. I'm looking at this person looking at me. They looking at me, looking at them, looking at me. So that was cool. I still, guys, I am not off work until next Saturday. Wait, Memorial Day. What is it? Labor? One of them holidays. Y'all celebrate holidays. Which one is it? Labor Day or something that's coming up? I think that's next Monday, right? I think I'm off for that. But if it wouldn't been for that, I would not be off until Saturday. Next Saturday. Not this Saturday. I work this weekend. And it's so funny because I'm sitting back thinking, like, this is a lot. But I have something that I need to do. So I have to do it. Like, I have to grind because when I do make this move, I want to make sure I'm in a position to where I'm not having to worry about too much. And it seems like this move is coming close. It's coming sooner and sooner. As I wake up, I'm like, oh goodness. So some people are like, oh, that's too much. And I'm like, this is normal for a nurse. This is normal. Nurses work overtime. Yeah. Well, my 8-year-old still loves hugs and kisses. Like, but that's at times because it's at times when she's like, no. Like, I'll be like, hey, you want to cuddle? And she'll be like, no, I don't want to cuddle. Or she'll tell me, okay, we can cuddle at 8 o'clock. And I'm like, girl, at 8 o'clock, I'm probably not going to want to cuddle. She's like, well, if you don't want to cuddle at 8 o'clock, then I guess we just won't cuddle. So, yeah, they get a certain age. They don't want to be bothered. They do not want to be bothered. All that hugging and kissing, especially at school. Like, Jessica doesn't care. Like, I just dropped her off. We had our pep talk, and the lady was like, is she okay? I'm like, no, we just have pep talks in the morning. And, she likes the hugs. She likes to squeeze on me. She can't squeeze on me at school, though, because it looks weird. Because, she's a breastfed baby. I'll leave that there. But for the most part, she still wants her hugs and kisses, but when she wants them, not when I want to give them to her. So, yeah. I'll be glad when they finish working on this road that I have to drive up. It is heartbreaking, but you know what? You'll be able to find other things to do with her, or try, like, I don't know, like my husband, he does like this fist bump with her, like, because she definitely don't want hugs and kisses from him. It's only me, it's only mommy. So they do like this crazy like handshake or whatever, and she thinks it's cool, and he's weird, so he, whatever. So they do that. They do like a handshake thing. They crack jokes. Like she cracks jokes with him. She know not to do that with me because I don't play some games. I'm your mama. I'm not your friend. It shouldn't be heartbreaking though. But you know what? Ask her why. I was gonna say, ask her why. Okay, ask her like why she doesn't want the hugs and kisses anymore. Good God Almighty. Like ask her why she don't want to do it, and she'll tell you why. Then maybe you guys can find another way to show affection. She ain't on that. I'm driving over like these raised casings in a row, and it's like a car next to me, so I can't really dodge them like I normally would when I'm coming up this road. It's terrible. I need to get over. So like, I really hope you guys have a good day today. Like, I want you guys to find some joy in what you're doing today. And instead of looking at things like, I got to go to work, I got to feed my kids, I got to pay this bill, look at it and say, I get to, that it's a privilege. Because let's be honest, they always say, oh, don't talk about what other people got going on, blah, blah, blah. But it's an honor to be able to pay your bills. It's a privilege. A lot of people don't have that privilege right now, for whatever reasons. It's an honor to get up and go to work. I'm not going to say a lot of people don't have that privilege, because at this point, a lot of people just don't want to work. And sometimes when I think about it, it's creepy. It's creepy to know that people don't want to work. Like, ugh. I don't get off into that world ending concept, nothing, but I do believe something in this system is just really off, because I remember people complaining that they couldn't find jobs. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like they ain't even looking. It's crazy. So also look at that as a great thing. Like if you're still getting up and going to work, you get to do that. It's a good thing. You're choosing to do that. You know the importance of doing that. You get to be with your family. You get to send your kids off to school. You get to wake up, and if you're in recovery, you got sober and you working through sobriety and growing in your recovery, that you're doing that. Be happy for that. Like I had to learn how to appreciate that for a long time. You know, before I started my sobriety and working in recovery, even after. I'm just now kind of sort of getting to the point where I'm able to separate the difference and appreciating what is. Now, I don't believe in shoulda, coulda, woulda, but I don't believe in that. And I was taught early on not to go through that. But I did feel like I just did not like where I was. And I didn't want to feel that way or be that way. And even in the same circumstances, I had to change the way I looked at them. And on top of changing the way I looked at them, I had to change how I was going to deal with them and handle them. I had to make some decisions I didn't really want to make, but given the circumstances, I'm not going to say I didn't have another way, but I know what I can and can't tolerate at this point. I know what my sobriety does for me. I know what I couldn't handle prior to, and I know what I can handle now. And it's a lot of it's still kind of the same things. But before I would try to push through the grain, go hard, push through it, and don't let nobody tell me I'm wrong or I ain't doing something right. That made me go harder even more. Even if in the back of my mind, I'm like, this ain't right, because I was delusional. Now, no. I know how to say, yeah, I lost, or I'm done, or this is too much, because we all know that old saying, nothing should be that hard. People like to, oh, don't be a quitter, don't be a quitter. And I had this discussion with my best friend, and she totally disagreed with me about being a quitter, because we was talking about someone. And I said that can be toxic. Having that attitude can be toxic. And she's like, no, I disagree. She was like, well, in a marriage, yeah, or in a bad situation, yeah. I said, no. Because look at all these people, they don't want to be a quitter. So guess what they do? They got these careers, but they got these children, but they going so hard with the career because they don't want to be a quitter. They don't want to be a failure, that they're sacrificing the relationship or the time with their children. I'm sorry. People can disagree all they want. It can be toxic. There are times where I should have quit. And then there are times where I quit and most people probably feel like you shouldn't have. But to me, I did it. And it was an appropriate reason why. And I look back at it now, and I don't have shoulda, coulda, woulda. I just like, yeah, I wasn't ready. It wouldn't have been no good for me anyway. So yeah, some people don't agree with that. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, being a quitter is not always that bad. And telling yourself that you don't have to be a quitter in every situation can be toxic. It can really be toxic. I remember working with nurses that had been working in facilities for 20, 30 years, and it was miserable. And everything they had to say about it was negative. And you'd be like, well, some of them would be like, oh, because of the benefits. Okay, I get it. But it was some of the reasons they were given was just not good enough for me. Like, how can you be loyal to a company that don't give two fucks about you? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'll never forget what made me change my outlook on that was one of the ladies had retired. She was getting ready to retire. And of course, down the line in nursing, a lot of nursing homes, especially if they become corporate and they're not owned solely by a private company, corporate is corporate in healthcare. And corporate in healthcare, like if the facility you're at is done went corporate, it's a whole nother ball game. It's actually a mess. And so this lady had worked at this specific facility for 30 years. And she got ready to retire. And do you know all they did was give her a card? All they did was give that woman a card. And you know the little plaques or whatever they give? Oh my God, I can't see. A card and a little plaque of recognition. Thank you for being our slave. Basically kind of thing. Yeah, it was crappy. And she's still out here though. She be on Facebook or whatever. But yeah, it was the craziest thing. Like, and at that point it made me realize like it's nothing wrong with being loyal with like employment, but you gotta know your limits. You gotta know your limits because that was crazy. 30 years. And all they did was give her a card. You know, I mean, I guess they figured well, she got all her benefits or whatever, but that don't mean they like all they gave her was a card. It was the craziest thing ever. But so yeah, that's my take on it, like giving up and all that. And some people don't agree, but whatever, you know. They overachievers anyway. Most people that I know that don't agree are overachievers. So they feel like giving up is a sign of weakness. I feel like in some instances it's toxic. I feel like it can do more harm than good. A prime example is maybe say you got a young man that's going to college. He wants to go to college. So he go to college. He get there. It ain't what he wanted to be. We done told him, okay, go to college. College is good for you. Go to college. Go to college. You know, you want to be successful. You want to have a career. Get your education. He get there. Hold on. Let me backtrack. Many people don't offer their children other options before they encourage college. I've seen it. It was told to me. It wasn't no other options. It wasn't no, you know, unless I wanted a child wants to do those things. But they're really like we encourage our kids to go to college, and there are so many other options that they don't have to go to 4-year college for. So back to what I'm saying. And they'll say, go to college, go to college, go to college. And he get there, and I'm talking specifically about boys, because it happens more so in men, boys than women. They're just treated differently, especially black men. And they'll go to school, and they get there, and they in there, and they like, yeah, this ain't it. They don't like it. And then you got some of their parents encourage them to go. Don't quit, don't quit. They graduate, they ain't doing nothing with their degree. Or they struggle so bad and you're miserable the whole time, but they won't tell their parents. But they're miserable. So what they start doing, kicking, partying, sleep with girls, all kind of crazy stuff, right? Or you have some that revert to just going in a shell. They start being weirdos. They start having like crazy personality issues and stuff like that. But then you had those, they just quit. They're a quitter. But they wasn't offered any other opportunities. They wasn't told maybe you could be an electrician, maybe you can be a plumber, maybe you can be a contractor, fix houses, maybe you could be a chef. All of those things don't require. They may require some education, but they don't require like 4 years, and they're all hand-on positions. Because let's be honest, men are naturally hunter-gatherers, so more so than being an intellect, a lot of, even if they're intelligent, they'd rather be doing something with their hands. And so then they're looked at as a quitter. Meanwhile, but they never had any other options. They didn't have options. It was just go to college. You should be a doctor. You should be a lawyer. You know, doctor, lawyer, teacher. And then they don't even give them many options to go like in college. Like, I love when I hear a kid say, I want to go be an architect, or I want to be an engineer, or I don't know, whatever. I want to be a college professor and teach art. I'm an artist, but I don't want to. I want to still do something with it. Like, okay, so I know you want to be an artist, but on top of being an artist, you want to go to school and let that be your major, so you can teach art to other people. That's a goal. That's a realistic goal. So, what do you do with those kids that quit going to college? They get a quitter, or do you try to help them find another option? Like, okay, that didn't work for you. Why can't we just say that certain things just don't work for us? I think in 2020, we need to stop putting ourselves in situations where we're miserable and we just don't know how we're going to get through. And there are more bad days and sad days than there are happy and good. And that we sitting around, trying to hold on. Instead of holding on to a relationship, hold on to your belief in Jesus or God or Allah, whatever. Hold on into that. Put that energy into that. Instead of trying to hold on to a job, step back and really evaluate. 20 years, I ain't gained nothing. I'm miserable. What if I walk away? What am I losing? Because like a lot of people have 401ks, but I think things are different these days. But what are you losing besides that? Your pension? Okay. So what do you do then? If you don't want to leave because you're gonna lose so much, how do you start viewing it? What do you do? What do you put in place to help you cope and deal with those miserable feelings? Good morning, Big O. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. I'm about to get off in a minute though, like what, 2 minutes maybe? Like, and so that's where I'm at. Like, what are you doing? If you can't quit because of specific reasons, and I'm just gonna say as far as career goes, I get it. But when we talking about school, you can find another option. If we're talking about a relationship, I'm sorry to say there are other options. Girl, if he paying all the bills and you ain't worked, you ain't do nothing but finish high school, go back to school. Let these last 1 or 2, 3, 4 years be where you're building yourself up to get out that situation. Dude, if what I'm saying, you worried about the kids or whatever, save you some money, lawyer up. Because see, a lot of things that we do or be a lot of happiness out of being reluctant. A lot of dudes stay with their baby mamas because they want to raise a family, or they scared she gonna keep the kids away from them. She can't break the law. You have rights. And if you go to court and you get a court order, and that court order says that you get so a lot of time with that child, and she doesn't follow through, and she go against that order, they're gonna lock her ass up, or she'll get fined. Whatever. Every state is different with some things, but a lot of that's still the same. So why stay there when there's other options? I don't be trying to hear that, but I'm a quitter. I don't care. I ain't trying to hear all that. Oh, well, he paid. He do. I ain't worked since I was 18. And so that's your reason to stay with him and be miserable? Oh, I think it's a fight. That's why I usually sit in my car for a while. These little heathens out here fighting. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm, mm. You know what's sweet about this though? A couple of the boys is breaking it up. Some of the bigger kids, because the school I worked is K through 8, and so they was fighting. But the bigger kids kind of separated them because, like, adults they can't here where we at. They really not allowed to grab the kids and separate them from the fight. They can try to do the best that they can, but it was some issues with parents feeling like they was hurting their kids, and it's like I'm trying to break your kids up from this fight. So like it was really sweet though. The two older kids broke the fight up. That was really cool. Anyway, so yeah, I'm considered a quitter. So I don't have a bone in this fight, but I'm considered a quitter, and I tell people I don't care. Call me what you want. I'd rather start over 100 times than stay in one place and be stuck. It is what it is. Even though me and my best friend still don't agree on that, but that's fine. She's like an overachiever though. She's like one of those people. She keeps going until I'm not in a relationship, not with a job. I'm not going to be that 70-year-old woman that's been at the same job for 30 years and my back hurt, my hip hurt, all this stuff going on. And I don't let these people at this job just kind of trample over me and mistreat me. I'm not going to be that woman. I'm not going to be the woman that's so committed to my spouse who refuses to change just because of the sake of some vows that I may be trying to hold, but they're not. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to continue to deal with someone for the sake of our children. I'm not doing that. Well, my kids' fathers already know that. they knew that I was bad. Like, dude, I'm cool. This too much. If you don't want to be a parent, you don't have to. I'm not gonna beg you to. I can afford it. Just go away. I'm not raising my children in no toxic environment. I just had those beliefs. And some people felt like, oh, well, you was walking away, you was quitting, you didn't give that person a chance, blah, 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 whatever. Whatever. Because seeing other people put fear in me. Like, I see how my one brother has like so many kids. He got like 17 kids. And I seen how women flocked over him and stalked him and was acting like they was addicted to him, just cutting a fool. And I'm like, I'll never do that. I see how they would dog women and I'm like, I'll never do that. Now, I did play the fool when it came to certain things. But it was just some things like I'm not about to be sitting up, chasing you down, going to other women's houses, knocking on the door, fighting with women. I'm not going to even argue with no woman. I just never believed in that. And so those are things that to some people I look like a quitter because I threw my hands up. I remember going to school and it was too complicated and I wasn't sure if that's what I wanted to do. And I changed my program. I threw my hands up. I made a decision. I'm like, I really don't want to do this. I've always wanted to be a nurse. I don't know why I'm trying to be a physical therapist. It just wasn't. I wasn't feeling it, and so I changed my my career goal. I remember going to school and it was just too much going on. Like my mom kept getting sick. She was having all these mental health issues, and I kept having to be there for her because when it was no other resources. And it was times that I had to quit going to school. I mean, like literally. Like I got accepted into Tennessee State University. My mother got sick. I had to I couldn't go. I couldn't leave my mother up here in a bad situation, so I couldn't go. And to some people, that's quitting. But I wasn't about to leave my mother in a bad situation. My attitude was I can go to school up here. So it's a lot of times I didn't quit or gave up, and I'm okay with it. I have stories to tell. I have lessons that I've learned. I have information I can give other people. It is what it is. Everybody's story is different, but I mean, I'm still striving and surviving. There's one thing I quit that was probably the best thing I could ever did in my life was drinking. Because you got people that think that though. So anyway, let me get in here. The kids they're halfway in the class now, I believe. They're gone because I don't like walking through the crowds because they be stinking and stuff. Right. What kind of school nurse is she? The one that has to pass out deodorant and maxi pads all day. Anyway, guys, you have a wonderful day. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I always say, leave me a comment. Like, if you agree, talk about it. Tell me things that you agree on or how you look at things. If you disagree, especially on that quitting thing, tell me. Tell me why you think that it's not toxic. Tell me why you think that, not being a quitter is beneficial. Tell me how it works for you, how it works for people around you, your children, whatever. We can have, some harmless banter in the chat. I'm in the comments. I'm sorry, whatever. Either way, please have a good day today. It's beautiful. Even if it's raining, it's still beautiful. You open your eyes and you're here and you're breathing. So have some gratitude for that. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.